to another episode of the Addies Podcast. Our guest today is from Roxbury, Massachusetts, home of the New Edition, Edo G and the Bulldogs, New Kids on the Block, all these great entertainers that we grew up listening to. He also did his basic training in March 1982, RTC Great Lakes, started his career out as an undesignated airman, and later became an airframer. Was that an H or S?
S.
You're an S, structural guy. Okay, all good. Sea-duty assignments include VS-29 in North Island, Pacific Missile Range Facility, Barking Sands, been out there, Hawaii, NSF Diego Garcia, 1992 to 93, then again in 98 to 99. We're going to talk about that. VFA 195 Atsugi, Japan, HSL 51 Maintenance Master Chief, Shore Tours, Subic Bay, the PI.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed like the only time he was in the States was in boot camp.
In boot camp. Yeah, pretty much. In boot camp. And then we with the Great Lakes. Yeah. You did the RDC tour where?
Yeah, Great Lakes.
Great Lakes. All right. The PI we said, and the RDC. Good. That's a hell of a damn record. Yeah, that's some stuff out there. Yeah, that's some stuff out there. Selected to CMC in 2006, VFA 27, first CMC tour, the Royal Maces. What they say out there?
That's it, Royal Maces, Mace in your face,
Mace
baby.
in your face. Yeah,
Mace in your face.
I heard you say that at the retirement ceremony you were at.
Yeah.
And everybody else was saying it.
That's it, because my man Stan Harris was there, a master right there when it comes to maintenance master chiefs in Japan.
Okay.
Big Stan Harris, yeah.
All right. CAG 5 CMC at Sugi, Japan. Then he finally came back home to the States. You know, final tour, he was selected as Air Land Force Master Chief in 2010, then retired in April 2013. Total of 31 years. Yeah. That's a hell of a career, man. That's a hell of a career.
Blessed.
Yeah. I'm glad. Hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on and blessing us. You know, before we even start, I have to say this. Thank you for representing the Chiefs, and even me.
Thanks.
Me doing the Go Like a Hall of Fame. If it's somebody that's putting it out there more than me, it's you.
Thanks. Thanks.
If it's somebody out there really putting it out there more than me, it's you.
Well,
I have a nice team that I work with, but if we're talking about actually out there promoting it, it's you. I appreciate that, man. When I see somebody sent me the picture on Veterans Day, you behind the president, I was like, hey, that's me right there.
That's you, baby. That's you. That's your vision,
me right
man.
there, man. So I greatly appreciate it, brother. And I, again, thank you for coming on, man.
All right, yeah, great, thanks.
Yeah.
It's an honor for me to be here, man. I've been watching these and learning and getting some knowledge from the individuals that you've had sitting in this chair. And I mean, hey, I was like, okay, if you give me an opportunity, I'll come.
Yes, sir.
And share what I can share.
How could we not? Like you are one of the trailblazers. You know what I'm saying? That paved the way for a lot of people to come behind you. So again, like he said, it's a privilege to have you.
Yeah. Somebody like with your record, your time, doing what you do, and it's being a legend in the Navy. A legend in the military.
Okay.
So. And you in some rooms now, doing bigger things. So you stay the ground, hey, I'm taking care of these veterans now. Let's do it. And these active duty people. So we appreciate it. So coming out of Roxbury, Massachusetts, back in 1982. 82. Going to boot camp. What was going through your mind at the time leading up to going to boot camp 1? And what did you expect?
Well, I'm a graduate of East Boston High, and at the time, I remember being in woodworking class, and a couple of females came in and said, hey, the John F. Kennedy aircraft carrier pulled in, and look at the sailors, right? So I said, let me go down there, right? Not to look at the sailors, but to see the aircraft carrier, you know what I'm saying? So I get back there, and I look at the fantail, and there's F4 Phantoms, if y'all know what an F4 Phantom is.
Okay. Yeah, that's old school.
It was 4 or 5 of them on the back of the fantail, and right then and there I said, I want to work on that airplane. Mm-hmm. Right there I made that decision. Mm-hmm. And there's a story that goes with this fantail that I wouldn't even learn until I was Force Master Chief.
Oh, wow.
Because being on nuclear carriers, I was like, we can only get 4 F-18s or 3 F-14s on the fantail, but yet this carrier had more. Okay, but I'll tell that story a little bit later. Yeah. But that was my vision for joining the Navy, and then here it is. I'm walking downtown one day. I'm a pro scholar for a guy who eventually became the headmaster at East Boston High, but he was an English teacher, and I was his pro scholar. In half day, I would go to John Hancock and work as a junior accountant at the John Hancock because I could have graduated in 11th grade, but my mother said, no, you're doing 12.
Okay.
So I took a couple of courses, and then I pro scholar for him, and then boom, I went to my job at the John Hancock. So I'm walking downtown. I was like, I just don't see this accounting thing, just this life. And I look up. I'm right there by, I'm walking. I'm looking. I was like, it's not just a job. It's an adventure. Let me go see what this is all about.
Really?
I like the airplanes and everything else. Yeah. So I go up there, and I'm talking to, and I say, people who change your life, either you remember their name or you don't. AW1 Kimball was my recruiter. And he said, okay, well, hey, you take this test. And I said, well, you know what? I got scholarships to play sports because I played tennis, soccer. I kicked for the football team because the soccer coach wouldn't let me play football. But he said, you can kick.
Right.
Okay. And I ran track. So I had scholarships. And I played ice hockey on an all-black ice hockey team in Roxbury.
What?
So we used to practice. Wow. We used to practice right after Boston University's team with Jim Craig, the goalie for the Olympics and all that stuff. Their coach used to watch me play. So I had a 2-year scholarship for play ice hockey for BU, and I didn't even play ice hockey in high school. That's just from him seeing what I did during the tournaments and at practice.
Wow.
So, but then I was walking, I saw that sign, and I said, that's not for me. I just don't want to do school no more. So I said, hey, let me go up here and take this test. Goose egg. Okay. Now I had someone on here the other day that he was like, yeah, my AFQT was like 33. And I was like, man, you beat me by 10, dog. You beat me by 10. Because mine was like 22. And at times I said, man, I must be dumb. I said, no, that was just stuff that I did not know. I was a business major. I didn't know a lot of electronics and all that stuff.
Okay.
I was good with my hands.
The military hired you for.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here it is. Yeah. Kimball got me in. He said, yo, I seen the boot camp. I said, my birthday's December 28th. Get me in boot camp, 31. So 31 December, bam, I'm going to Great Lakes. I was trying to outthink them. I was like, you know what? They can't run me to death in the winter.
Right.
Didn't know about drill halls. So of course, the drill halls. Drill halls. And then you got to deal with the snow at Great Lakes. Wind chill factor.
Yeah, I was there.
Didn't know about that wind chill factor.
So, question though.
Go ahead.
Being an athlete and the scholarships and everything, John Hancock working, and you just say, I'm just gonna, put all that over here, and I'm finna go in the military. What did your parents think about that?
Yeah, my mother wasn't too happy about that. Because she already had me playing tennis at Fayetteville State, living with my aunt and everything because I was a tennis player. Okay? Me and my partner, me and my partner, Roger Hippolyte, my god brother down in Boston, we used to destroy people on the tennis courts. We was like number 3 in the States.
Wow.
Number 3 as a doubles team. So, I mean, hey, so my tennis game was right. But I was like, I don't want any of that. I said, you know what? Send me to the West Coast. I'll make the Navy work for me. Really? That's all I want. Just send me no rate. I knew this.
I said, check out this adventure.
I looked at the boats and this thing. I said, them guys, nah. I said, give me the aviation. Make me an AR. I'll make the Navy work for me for the West Coast.
No job, undesignated.
Because what I wanted to do was I liked printing presses. So I wanted to be a later rate would be a lithographer. Okay. They didn't have that rate at that time. Yeah. And that's the only thing I wanted to do. They didn't have it. So I said, just send me to the West Coast.
They didn't have that rate back then?
They didn't have it back then. And it's crazy because...
when I joined in 90, they had it.
They had it, right. But in the 80s, they didn't have that rate.
But then it went away.
Right. They didn't have it. So here it is. I'm in Las Vegas about 2 years ago, and I meet 2 retired lithographer Master Chiefs.
Wow.
It was just crazy.
Wow.
They both riding around in their scooters, chilling.
Wow.
And I said, so what was your rate? Lithographer. I was like, what? This is crazy.
They had Master Chiefs back
Master Chiefs, yeah.
Wow.
But that's what led me into the Navy. And I said, just send me to the West Coast and I'll make it work. Okay. So I always say certain things happen for a certain reason, and they luckily they shined on me. So here it is. I end up at North Island, and at the time, my squadron that I was assigned to, VS 29, was on the Carl Vinson, going to Brazil. And I was like, why don't they send me to Rio so I can get on the ship? They was like, nope, you know what? The Navy's changing. Normally, you would check in your command and you would strike and you would be a plane captain. You have to qualify as a plane captain. They sent me to VS-41 first to qualify as a plane captain.
Okay.
So when I checked into the squadron, I was a qualified plane captain, but in VS-41, not VS-29.
Yeah.
So here it is. I check in. I met the chief one time. Chief Grace, 6'6". Says, McClure, you're one of the first people to check in this command as a qualified plane captain. But you're not qualified here. Yeah. You got to do the PQS and all that stuff to get qualified here. I want you to teach all of these people in here how to do the job the right way. Because most of them just learned on-the-job training. And I'm like, I'm an E1, man. What are we talking about? Right. So here it is. They assigned me to night check. Walk into the shop, AMH3 Wagner throws a broom at me. Clean up the shop, McClure. We know, we hear what's going on. Okay, clean up the shop, right? So I'm cleaning up the shop, and then it's like, all right, this is what's your job. You're going to take fuel samples every day. 23 ports, smelling like JP5. There's nothing attractive to women smelling like JP5. So years later, people complain that I use a lot of cologne. And I do. That's to mask the years of being traumatized as an E1 smelling like JP5.
Okay.
So now I got the money. Sense. I can smell as good as I want to smell.
I ain't got to smell like gasoline.
I ain't got to smell like it.
I got to smell like it. Yeah. So here it is. That's how it starts. It starts off that way. And back then, we had it all going on. Mm-hmm. So I remember a couple of cats saying, yeah, McClure, yeah, petty officer, he told us that you supposed to train us. I was like, I'm not here to train y'all. I'm just... y'all show me what y'all got. Y'all, you guys know what's going on here, okay? Now, I'll just say every now and then, that's not the right way to do it. I'll say that. And then eventually, they was like, well, we're going to grease you. Yeah, we're going to grease you, McClure. Grease me? What was what we talking about? So subsequently, a month goes into it, and another cat from Boston checks in. White cat, Mendel. Chief Grace gave him the same story. Okay. But our approach to it was different. Mendel was like, Chief told me to tell you all how we going to do this. I came in one night and I saw Mendel taped up to the roof.
Okay.
Grease gun. I'm not going to say where he was getting the grease at.
No.
But let's just say he was getting it. And they was like, McClure, you're next. And I was like, fellas, I'm going to tell you. Y'all might get me. But if you get me, I will get each one of you all individually afterwards. I never got grease. Because I said, I will mess all of you all up individually afterwards.
Yeah, you talk about the 80s. That's when hazing was.
Yeah, hazing was big.
Yes, sir.
So here comes, I'm moving up in the line. I get plane captain of the month. I'm doing my thing. And then here comes AMH1 Harris, Tony LaRock.
The fact
he said,
that
no, actually he was 2. AMF2.
That's I was just going to say the
because
fact that so
make
vividly.
An impact in your life, you should remember their names.
Yeah, you said that.
So here it is. LaRock was like, McClure, grab my toolbox. I'm going to teach you how to fix this S3 Viking.
Okay.
So he took me out there. Our first thing was a dwell actuator, one of the hardest parts to change in the S3. He showed me the tricks of how to change it out. Boom, 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 boom. So I carried this box and then we started hanging out. So LaRock, not only did he teach me how to be a sailor in the Navy, but he taught me how to have a good time out in town. We would hit the VFW.
That's what I want to get to.
Yeah, we hit the VFW.
Back in the 80s.
I'm going to tell you, you know what? Here it is, another one. Senior Chief Cromwell, light-skinned brother, maintenance control. Going to the maintenance meeting, Cromwell. All right, you guys, we're going to do, he got a southern accent, southern draw accent in maintenance control. Friday night, see him at the VFW. Hey, what's up, McClure? How you cats doing? I'm like, you ain't got the same voice that you had. So I'm like, is this how the Navy is, really?
Flipped it up.
And we had our Master Chief Bricken, who worked nights. And he the Master Chief, and he worked nights. And Master Chief had a nice set of hair. He used to rub his hair, had his picture of his beautiful wife there. And for me, man, they used to always try to get me to make the coffee. And they hated my coffee. I said, I'm not a coffee maker. So I make it dark, just burn.
Right.
He said, get that McClure to make it. McClure make the best coffee in the fleet, right?
Yeah.
So Master Chief Bricken loved my coffee, man. So here it is, I'm moving up. We start cruising. So we get on the Carl Vinson, and we're doing a world cruise from here. From Norfolk, Virginia to Alameda.
What ship is it?
Carl Vinson.
Carl Vinson.
It's first world cruise, major cruise. So we're doing that, and I'm partying, man, learning everything, learning how the officers, getting the Liberty ports, man. I remember we pulled into Abidjan, South Africa.
This is your first
underway. Yeah.
Your first underway.
First way.
Is a deployment.
It's a deployment, yeah. Yep, world cruise.
Your first underway
was a world cruise from Norfolk.
Deployment.
We flew from San Diego, went right on that pier, got on the ship, and we took that ship from Norfolk, Virginia to Alameda.
What was that like? Like
it was crazy because
you don't know what to expect on your
you don't know what to
underway, but then you like we out here.
Right, and everybody else was doing it. Everybody else they had done it because they had did Brazil. They had did Brazil little tour.
They left you behind to get Blake after
getting trained, right? So here it is. We pulling in the ports. I remember pulling in the Abidjan, and here it is. We didn't know, and I remember this is a time frame. We're like, what do you mean we can't bring the girls back to the hotel? Okay. And what do you mean we can't go here? What do you mean we can't go to Trenchville?
Yeah.
You tell sailors what? Don't go to Trenchville?
They gone.
We gone. So we in the cab, me, couple up boy. We got a white cat with us, my boy Courtney. We going to Trenchville. We pull into Trenchville, and Trenchville is like, have you ever been to PI, McSide Drive? It's an African McSide Drive, nothing but clubs down the street. The sisters grabbed Courtney, and we ain't see Courtney for 3 days. They just took him. He was gone.
This early
80s. Now, mind you.
So how old are you at this time?
Oh man, I'm what 19. So here it is. We doing it right, and at the time we're not thinking about it until that morning when it dawned on me. So we chilling, we going to a couple of clubs, and here it is. Senior chief, all the brother warrant officers, they all in that club, and they looked at us like,
"What y'all doing
here?" Right? And it was like, I knew y'all gonna be some good sailors. Come on, let me get you a drink. Wow. So they all got us drinks. It's a different Navy back then.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Wasn't no one pressuring you if you got in trouble. If you got in trouble, then you got in trouble, not your supervisor.
Right.
At
that moment, did you say like, "Wow, this is what my life is like"?
Yeah.
I could be back in Boston.
Oh, Boston. Yeah. I was just like.
Like, did it blow you? Like
it blew because here it is. My mom sending me stuff like, you remember that little nappy-headed boy Ricky Bell? These still cars, they in a group called New Edition.
Yeah.
And I said, like, okay, cool. All right. And then, but your high school, the headmaster and half the staff just got busted for being in the mafia.
Oh, wow.
I was like, whoa. So that's why they didn't want me to fight with the basketball coach one time.
Yeah.
That's why they was saying, like, yo, you better leave this alone.
Right.
You better leave this alone.
But
so
being out there at the PI at 19 years old.
It's crazy. But no, we in Africa now. I'm in Trenchville.
Okay.
So I'm in Trenchville. So we partying. So, we do our thing. We party all night. Boom, end up, a couple hotties. We end up at their crib. We get up. Boom. We leave, right? In the morning, that whole street, gone. Chickens, cows, no resemblance of a club atmosphere on this street. And we're like, the African cats are looking at us like, y'all don't belong here. So we like, yo, let's get a cab and let's get up out of here. It was a township. Apartheid.
Oh, wow.
Remember?
Back then.
Yeah. Apartheid.
Yeah.
That was a township that they turned into a nightclub area at night. And then in the morning, gone.
Shut it down.
Girls couldn't go back to the hotel. Why? Because African women, you couldn't even be up on the street.
Yeah.
That's why they couldn't go to the hotel. But you young, you 19, you ain't thinking about it until afterwards and not. That's why they couldn't go back to the hotel. Yeah,
that's
man,
different.
It was crazy, man. It was a different time.
That's different.
So here it is, the story continues, we do our walk day, we cross it to, 00 equator, and I'm a golden, I'm a royal diamond golden shellback. So I got 2 certificates of the 00 equator line and everything. So we had all these ports.
Imagine stuff that they had y'all doing.
Man, it was crazy, man. But I got through it though. I got through it. And there's a story that goes back later on in my career that comes back to that, right? To that day. So here it is. We pull into Alameda. Let's just hop right to Alameda.
Okay.
We pull into Alameda. I'm standing up there, manning the rails, and I'm looking down there. And I was like, just think about this. All them people out there, and not one of them out there know me. Nobody out there is for me. Nobody.
Yeah, back then they probably all on the pier.
They're all on the pier deep. Nobody. Not one person out there is for me. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we fly back to San Diego, and then bam, I get hit with the sledgehammer. TAD. TAD to the ship, first lieutenant.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
To the ship?
To the ship. So now I got to fly up to Alameda to get on the ship to run the first lieutenant department. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's what I got to do. I do what I got to do. So it was funny that, our guys at admin set me up to fly in on a Sunday, right? So I fly in on a Sunday, and they're all kind of like laughing. I'm like, why are they laughing about the time frame? They're like, yeah, you got to go here. You got to go downtown San Diego. You got to catch a BART, and you got to catch it to Oakland. So here it is. I'm in my sailor uniform. It's Sunday. It's this time frame, and it just so happened to be the same day as a gay parade. I'm in a sailor uniform at the end of the parade.
That's why they laugh.
The train, right. The train gets crowded with people, right? And they're like, ooh, look at that sailor. I'm like, y'all do whatever y'all do, just don't touch me.
Right.
Just, y'all say whatever y'all want to say, just don't touch me.
Don't touch you.
So I end up on the ship, right, doing my first lieutenant tour. Now, this is crazy. Thought my career was over with. They said, McClure, you need to, one of our storage compartments, you need to retile it. I'm like, I know about retiling, man. I don't know about retiling.
Right.
So here it is. I'm going to make it happen. Back then, they had this chemical called MEK. Like, you kind of clean up stuff, because I didn't know what I was doing. So sealant and all that stuff was seeping out of the tile. So I'm using MLK to clean it all up.
Yeah.
Boom! Compartment blow up. Compartment blows up. So I blew up the whole compartment on the ship.
I ain't had no MSD at that time.
Right. None of that stuff, man. I blow up the whole compartment. Bam! So now I got to repaint the compartment, redo everything. And you know what's so cool about that?
When you say blow up, like
I mean, it's the chemicals completely blew up because the MLK was a corrosive solvent. It got in with the sealant, combustion, boom. You think VSA 29 heard about it? Nope. They heard nothing about it. So here it is. I clean it all up. Compartment's all nice. Boom. I'm getting a letter of con for doing a good job as first lieutenant. No, that I blew the compartment up. I was like, okay. It works for me. I like the fact back then they didn't rat you out that fast, you know?
Yeah.
But that was a great time. I mean, Oakland, man, being back then, we used to walk right through the tunnel, go to Jack London Square. There's a spot called Uppies, Gene Upshaw's club.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Uppies on the square. It's still there. It still rocks. They had this one spot right up the street called Sirloin and Brew. $10. Get steak, potatoes, and all the sangria you want to eat, drink. So you know what sailor's gonna do.
Oh, yeah.
We go in there, we getting faded before we go to the club.
Right. Yeah. $10.
Steak, potato,
Oh,
boom.
you eating good.
We getting ready. We doing it, man. And back then they had the sizzlers where they had all the sizzlers where they had the little rib tips, the shrimp, all that stuff.
I heard that
we used to sit there to each other like, yo, you fellas got to go, man.
Yeah.
Y'all done ate up like 100 plates of shrimp,
Right.
you know.
You got the alcohol.
Y'all got to get up out of here.
Yeah.
This is off the wall, but why when people say sizzler, they don't say sizzle. They got to say the sizzler.
That's a new thing. But back then it was sizzlers, man. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, man. Those were some good times. And you know what's so funny when I look at those times? Being an E1, and I still have one of my LESs. And I look at how much money I used to get paid back then. I was like, broke.
But you had
Put
a
it this
ball.
way, I take more money out the ATM machine every time I go to the ATM machine than what I got paid when I was crazy.
Yeah.
That
But
is
yet,
crazy
I
when you
don't
think
ever
about it.
remember wanting for anything.
That's what you said. You said you had a
you
ball.
still
And I've always been, I've
ball.
always been a DJ. So I always bought records, always bought fly clothes, always had my Slits Malt Liquor Bull, And I felt good. I never felt like I was broke back then.
Right.
Never
right,
felt.
Right.
Those are the times.
So when Run DMC, Public Enemy, Slick Rick, and all them boys was coming out.
Here it is.
Where was
I'm going to tell you the story.
What vibe was you at? Yeah.
What the vibe was in? Back then, I had moved from here it is. Carl Vincent pulls in the PI. Everybody orders the PI now. Okay? AMS1 Smoker says, McClure, you're the only one who can get orders to PI. You're the only one. That's it.
Why is that?
So here it is. Because everyone wanted it. So here it is. He said, you're the only one that the command's going to authorize to get orders to PI. So here it is. They send me to AIMD.
Oh, it wasn't easy to get orders over there.
Right. To AIMD, to the paint shop. So here it is. I was E4 at the time. So I'm running the paint shop. I got Filipino workers, Filipino CDIs. All I do is sign the math as supervisor and go back to sleep. I check into my barracks room, got a roommate. There is a shoebox full of pills. I'm like, okay. So one day, see this cat climbing through the window, white cat. And I was like, yo, man, hey, what's going on? Yo, man, yeah, I'm your roommate, man. I live out in town, but I got duty, so I'm going to sweep in here. I said, okay, well, cool, man. He said, yeah, you might want to move out in town, man. It's a little bit easier to live out in town than it is here, right? And I just made E5, too.
Yeah.
So here it is. I was like, what's up with these pills? Oh, tetracycline. Okay. Yo, man, you pop 3 of them a day, you'll never catch a clap. I'm just amazed at the fact that you had a whole shoebox full of them. He said that and another thing with Red Horse. He said, when you're done, do your thing with Red Horse over your little thingy thing, and you'll never catch a clap. Never.
Oh, y'all was gold back in the day.
Okay.
So being stationed at Diego Garcia, I've been there a few times.
Okay, yeah.
I actually was there when you was there. As I'm looking at your bio, I was there. I was in the BP squadron.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So then you had to come over to General Maintenance Division.
Yeah.
And I was a welder there at that time,
Yeah. So I had the most fun.
Siemens Club.
The Brick Club.
Brick Club.
Yeah, man. Like I was out there water skiing, jet skiing, like
DJing at the club. And I was a DJ at the club.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I DJed at the club. I DJed all the way up until I made Chief, and then I had to, the Chief can't be at the club DJ. So I had to give it up.
Right.
Right.
But how was Diego for you to go back twice?
Diego?
Like,
Well, the killer was this. The first time I end up there, it's crazy. And here it is, because we skipped over. We went from being in the squadron to my second tour, Philippines, which was just
okay. We can talk about that. We can
Philippines.
talk about that.
This was just crazy. I mean, it's just like, I make E5 in the Philippines. I'm running the paint shop. Life is great. All I do is sign maths, sign supervisor, and I go home. I don't do no work physically. So then I see this Chief Dingle, big black Bolter's mate chief. He's looking at me. I'm like, why is this dude looking at me? So he's like, hey, I need a supervisor over at the flight line, and you're gonna be it. So I'm like, why are you messing with? So you're gonna pull me from my cushion job to put me in charge of the airfield as a section leader. So we got 3 sections, right? Now this is what makes life crazy. We worked 12 on days, 12 off. 12 on, 12 off, 12 on.
You had 12 days off?
No, excuse me.
12
hours, excuse me.
12 hours.
12 hours
12
on,
on, 12 off.
12 off. Same thing again. 48 hours off.
Okay.
Work completely. Then you do 2 night shifts and then 72 hours off.
Okay.
So you really partying every day, regardless. And then you getting 3 days off, right? Now, at the time, if you've never been to PI, and the people in the audience that have been to PI, you would pull into PI, and whatever new rap stuff that was playing in the States, they had in the PI. The Hustler again. I used to sell records. I used to sell the records to the clubs. I used to order them from a place called Mailer Disc in New York, and I would sell them to the clubs.
Okay.
Sell the disc. So all the new hip hop, you name it, was always there. And I got the DJ in the clubs wherever I wanted to. Whenever I wanted to, I got whatever I want. Free liquor, right? Boom, boom. And I'm making a killing. I'm not gonna lie. I bought my first car, straight cash. Honda CRX. Can you imagine my big ass? Honda CRX, brand new from Guam. Boom, shows up there. I ain't never drove a 5-speed in my life.
Killed that clutch.
And how did I do that? from being a supply duty driver in my first command with a 3 with the stick shift.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
I was like, I never drive that. He was like, you'll learn. Just drive around the base. You'll figure it out. Yeah. So here it is. I buy a 5-speed car. Never even drove 5-speed.
Oh my gosh.
But hey, I figured it out. Man, I used to get my duty section in that baby. And the TRX is small.
Very small.
Squeeze 2 cats in the back.
I used to have back then though.
I had a remix that I remixed, right, of Don't Believe the Hype, Public Enemy.
Right.
60-minute tape. When the tape ended, we was at Clark Air Force Base. Just straight up, don't believe the hype.
Yeah, the whole way.
Whole way. All the way to Clark Air Force Base. We zipping there, man. So, I mean, the time at PI was just transformative because not only did I learn how to be a good leader, managing people, and I was there during the Marcos time. As a matter of fact, when I go on cruise ship, I meet a lot of Filipinos. Okay. So I tell them, I said, you know what? The week before Marcos left the Philippines, they came and parked at QB Point. I remember getting a call, and it was like, hey, we got a VIP from the Philippines coming in. You need to park them right here, and then your people need to stand at attention. So here it is. It was Marcos, Imelda Marcos, and General Veer. Now, General Veer was a 6'5" Filipino who was like the most ruthless general there. So I was like, oh, snap, that's that dude that's killing everybody. That's Marcos. Boom. They stayed there for about 2 hours. Boom. Next thing you know, a week later, People Power Revolution, they fly Marcos out of the country. My duty section, we're stuck out in town. They were voting outside the gate. So I called Chief up. Chief said, keep your duty section out there. Don't try to come on base. You don't want anyone getting hurt. So I'm out there for a week. And then eventually I'm mustering every day, my duty section in Mariposas. We drinking and, hey, what's the chief? Can we come? No, stay gone. And then all of a sudden, the whole atmosphere changed. McClure, you better get your people up to Clark Air Force Base. We got a C-12 coming up there to pick your duty section up.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, good to go. Hop on the Victory liner, boom, up to Clark Air Force Base, pick us up on the C-12. We get there, now I'm getting chewed out. I'm like, you should have got your section back in here. You're going to work for a week straight. And I was like, I'm good, dude. I've been off for a week. We good. My section's good. We'll work straight. We straight. Right. But hey, but that experience right there, during the first PFA in the Philippines, running around the airfield. I remember running in basketball sneakers. So probably my best time.
Had no PRT?
We didn't do. We just started. They just started doing the PFA, the annual, the semi-annuals. Yeah. They just started that. Just like they just started doing the HIV testing. They used to do all that. They started that when we was in the PI, man. Because we used to go for the testing. I'd be like, yo, dog. I see you, though. You gone. You gone. We know you gone. I had this one dude named Eldridge who caught the clap every 48 hours. I was like, Eldridge, man, come on, dude. Really? I mean, like, every time we off, this dude would catch it.
It said the first, every 48.
Every 48, he dripping. Good kid, though, man.
What?
Yeah, well, it was a
lot going on out there.
Dude,
I will share. I started this group called the Bonex Posse. Let's just say we had a number that you had to achieve in a year.
Okay.
We'll leave that alone. But the Bonex Posse was no joke. Matter of fact, my boy just turned. He just turned 60. He lives in Melbourne. One of my oldest friends, Tony Williams. You know him. I mean, and you're gonna hear about this. His son's name is Bo Williams.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna hear about this kid. This kid he's getting bigger. He's bigger than his dad now, and his handles ain't no joke.
Oh, really?
And he's in Melbourne, Australia. You're gonna hear about Boy Williams.
Okay. Basketball.
Bo Williams. You're gonna hear about him.
Okay.
But yeah, my boy Tony, man, one of my oldest friends, man. Man, we used to just run hard, man.
Yeah.
We used to run hard.
So hey, you had a ball. I could tell you had a ball, right? Yeah. But as far as the Navy side of it, where was you at mentally? What was you into, advancing or just like, hey man, I'm just out here just enjoying life.
So at that time right there, I didn't have my air warfare, so I got my air warfare in a QB Point, and then I was looking for orders. So here it is. I'm trying to get orders, and I'm trying to go anywhere except the S3 squadron. But the detailer keeps coming back at me like, McClure, you're going to VS-33. I don't want to go to VS-33. you're going to VS-33.
Okay.
So here it is.
So, but let me
I've
ask you
always
this.
had guardian angels.
But let me ask you this: are you continuing to stay in the Navy because you like it, you love it, or
I love
it's just
it.
okay?
I love it. I love the leadership. I love the fact that as a E5 in charge of the airfield, you know, every now and then we'd get officers that come in and be like, hey, I want my airplane parked in. Sir, it's not going to be parked there. Well, excuse me? What do you mean it's not going to be parked there? I got C-141s coming in and they need this ramp. We're not parking your jets here. You're going to park over there. It's red label. Okay, now if you nice, we'll send a truck over there to pick you up. But if you keep trying to fight it, I won't send a truck. Well, I'm going to talk to the OD. Go talk to the OD.
Yeah.
The OD's going to call me, and I'm going to tell him the situation, and he's going to follow what I say because these big airplanes have to park here. And your little F-14 isn't going to park here and tie up the airfield.
Right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it was a good time. As an E5 to have that much power, you know, to learn it and then, to, you know, just work it, that was great for me.
So you was a work hard, play hard.
Yeah, work hard, play hard, to learn how to lift, you know, distressed aircraft off of ships, cargo. I mean, I learned all that stuff in the Philippines. You know, all that stuff. It's valuable education. You know, if you put it to work. You know, put it to work elsewhere.
So just
But
like
here it is.
being in charge, like
Right.
being a leader.
So here it is. Detail is yelling at me saying, you're going to an S3 squadron, like it or not, McClure. Because at the time, when I left VS-29, I received my first Navy Achievement Medal for rigging the rudder to the cyclic stick. A depot level job, rigging it. And as an E3, I did that. Rigged the S3.
Oh, that's good.
See,
And
back
it
then-
actually passed functional check flight, and I got my award.
See,
for
back
that.
then, that's when awards was given because you did something.
Right.
You did
Right.
something. It meant a lot.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It meant a lot.
So here it is. Detailer still trying to send me back because everyone knows he's like, yo, this cat he the S3 cat right here. So here it is one night, Master Chief Montgomery. He's on the line monitoring the call. And he hears the detail says, McClure, he's cussing me out. Right? And Master, hey, excuse me, hey, this is Master Chief Montgomery. I don't know why you talking to the sailor this way, but I got your name and I will be calling your supervisor. So boom. So from there, Master Chief Montgomery got me orders to Barking Sands. That's how I end up at Barking Sands, which is another helicopter squadron, you know, but nevertheless does a completely different mission.
Yeah.
And at that point, you know, life was gravy until I run into someone who will teach me a lot about leadership was AMS-1 Dave Price. Dave Price came in as a supervisor. Now, Barking Sands was one of the places where, when it comes to rigging flight controls, it was one of the places that had a modification where we could actually rig. We could actually do that modification, which normally you would have to do elsewhere, but we would actually do it. So Dave comes in. Dave changes the whole shop, changes the vid board, you know, puts it up there. And his thing was like, if they say they're going to do a job, whatever you put up there, you going to finish.
Right.
You're going to finish.
Right. Yeah, you going to old
So
school.
so he's like straight up, right, Vince board. You know,
That's
you got
old
it a
school.
visual display.
Yeah.
You know, so you got it up there, and he's like, okay, y'all, yeah. I was like, well, can we go to lunch? Lunch. They got vending machines right upstairs. What do you got to go to lunch for?
Yeah.
Vending machines. So now people are afraid to talk to Petty Officer Price. People aren't getting off work on time. People aren't being able to pick up their kids from daycare or go to school because he's keeping us all there while Night Check is watching us work.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. Night Check is at work.
At work. Sitting on the tractors watching us work.
And Day Check still
He's
there.
like, y'all gonna sign the mask off before y'all leave. So I'm like sitting here like, okay. Now I have to say rest in peace, Dave Price, because I did find out that he passed away.
Right.
But I learned so much leadership from him. And then eventually the shop guys came together and said, McClure, you got to go talk to him. So I talked to him. I said, Pastor Price, I said, we got this going on.
And at this point, you're at E5 yourself.
Right. I said, you know, I'm falling asleep. You know, I can't. I'm going home. I'm going back to the barracks, sleeping in my coveralls, waking up because I'm beat. And he said, I never said anyone couldn't go to lunch. I just said, sign your name on the board. Y'all obviously didn't hear that part. All y'all heard was the other stuff. All y'all heard was the machines upstairs. You didn't hear us sign your name on the board and go to lunch. I was like, okay, well, I'll share that with everybody. And he said, and I didn't say you people couldn't get off work. Just don't try to pile up a bunch of work that you can't get done. Okay, I will share that with him. That next day, Pastor Price was a completely different person. Now, at that time, it was during Hurricane Aniki that hit Hawaii. So I got my first NAM from Dave Price for being for running the airfield and doing all that stuff during Hurricane Aniki. And I also got the honor of being in the first Jurassic Park movie.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so they filmed a lot of films in Kauai. So I was actually in the first film in Jurassic Park, and I got my picture with Steven. My role was, remember the amber miners? We were all Navy people. That whole scene where they find the amber that they actually make the dinosaurs from,
Yeah,
that whole scene, we're all Navy people.
Okay.
So at the time, I was supposed to be the guy pulling the guy on the raft, but this other brother looked more Dominican than me. So they put him there, and they put me in the back.
Dominican.
Right. And I kind of let the raft go. So, I got my pictures, my proof that it's me.
Yeah.
And I got the picture with Steven Spielberg and all that stuff.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was great. I mean, I got like $1,500 for being in the water for a day's worth of work in Hollywood. I got
so they paid y'all too?
Yeah, we got paid at well. The only bad part experiences was, remember the professor, Sam Neill?
Yeah.
So here it is. We got Steven Spielberg, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and the kids. At the time, I didn't know. I thought they were her kids. I didn't know they were a part of the movie. I didn't know nothing about Jurassic Park, So here it is. He comes up and he's like, who are they? Oh, they're extras. I'm not eating with extras. I'm like, you piece of... So then I like him as an actor, but personality-wise, he still rubs me the wrong way because he wouldn't eat with us. Whereas Steven Spielberg sat there, Jeff Goldblum, we had a good time eating large, man.
Wow. Right.
And Jeff, I slipped up and said, man, in Deep Cover, man, you played that role in Deep Cover, dog. I wanted to tell Jeff Goldblum that, And Jeff Goldblum is a big man. He is. He's very big. So, but I didn't know the situation.
Right.
But that was a good thing. Kauai, PMRF, my sponsor picked me up. He was in a lieutenant commander's uniform because he was in a bar fight scene for the movie called Flight of the Intruder.
All right.
Because they filmed that there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they filmed.
Says I know about that because we used to drop torps over
Torps there, right?
Yeah, and they would pick them up and replenish them.
Right. Yeah. So here it is. I'm a part of the security force and everything. I'm getting ready to roll up out of there. Had some situations in Diego Garcia. Warrant Officer Glover calls up my detailer. This is how I end up in Diego Garcia. Warrant Officer Glover says, I got to get this man somewhere safe because I was going through some situations with the marriage and everything. He's like, we're going to send him to Diego Garcia because then he can't be touched because of the Civil Service Act.
Okay.
So no civil legations can be done while you're there, right? So Warrant Officer Glover took care of me. He got me there. Went to Diego Garcia, and I did my thing in Diego Garcia. I was a welder, got my welding school, got everything, did my welding, and
so
you name it.
You come to Hawaii, you're an E5,
Right.
you leave.
I'm an E5, I'm an E5, and then it just so happens I had a friend that back then they would let you take the rating exam after you came back off of leave.
Oh,
and I gave this person all the information from the test, and they make first. And I missed it by like 1.5 points.
Oh, wow.
Back then, AMs, I could have aced the test and still missed it by 100 points. That's how the multiple was sold. The quotas were sold. So here it is, coming up for orders out of Diego Garcia. And at the time, AMs, it was like, get out or go recruiting. So I called a recruiter. I called up the detailer, who just happens to be my friend from Diego Garcia. I said, Becky, man, I don't want to. I said, Becky, I'd rather be in charge of the product than getting the product. She says, I know what you mean. I said, yeah, you recruiting, you got to get them in. Yeah. I'd rather be in charge of the product once they get them in. So I said, I'll try to get you orders at Great Lakes. And that's how I got the orders at Great Lakes.
Still E6 by now?
But no. I'm still E5.
So that seemed like that was your longest rate.
That's the longest rate. Long stretch.
So you had a long stretch.
Long stretch is the E5. And I always tell everybody.
That's like 2 commands.
My leadership ability is driven from being an E5. Okay. It's driven from watching.
I can feel you on that.
Driven from watching first classes stab each other in the back. I never had to experience that because I was never in that situation. Because here it is. Luckily, I get to Great Lakes and bam, I make E6
Okay.
at Great Lakes.
Because we all got that one pay grade that we like, oh my
E5
gosh,
was mine.
man.
E5 was,
Cheap
I
a
mean,
little bit too.
Yeah.
But E5 was really mine.
So here it is. I'm at Great Lakes now, and and it's it was a challenge from the beginning. I check in, seeing Chief McClure. McClure, you got to shave that beard off.
So hold on, before you go to that. So when you was at Diego and maybe PI, did you used to wear them shorts, them dungaree shorts?
Yes. Yes.
The dungaree shorts.
And that little pink hat. And that little
you had them black socks.
with them little black
hats.
habits. Yeah. I used to wear that stuff, man.
I see them.
Yeah.
I see them. I see them in the uniform.
But it was cool though,
the
man.
outfits looking like
post
post
cool
office
back
workers.
then. It was like a post office worker.
Yeah.
But it was cool back then.
And you had your kneecaps out.
Yeah,
Dungaree shorts.
had to put some grease on them knees,
Relax.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
With the long socks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was hot. It was hot back
With the
then.
white hat.
With the pink, with the white hat.
Okay.
It was
All
hot.
right, so now-
It was hot back then, man.
I finally know some
was
who wore
funny.
that. Yeah.
I think I burnt all my pictures of me.
Yeah.
But it was hot when I was
hot.
there.
That was a crazy looking uniform.
So Diego
But it was cool, though.
Diego was a great place because there was a lot of mentorship, a lot of parties. I DJ'd.
yeah.
I had my own Sunday Quiet Storm show that I did
Okay.
for the radio station.
Okay.
So I was like I said, I was always a DJ. I was a gospel choir. I ran the gospel choir. So I've always had my hands in different things.
I got you.
Always had. So you always say Diego Garcia, either you're gonna be either a preacher or a drunk.
Okay.
That's what they used to say, Diego Garcia.
yeah,
You're either a preacher,
or
alcoholic,
drunk. Yeah.
or a drunk,
Yeah.
or a preacher.
Yeah.
But I had a great time there. So Becky gets me the orders of Great Lakes. Great Lakes works out well. I check in. Senior Chief tells me I got to shave my beard off. And I'm like, dude, I've seen white cats march divisions down the streets with beards. I got no shave
But you could have a beard back then in the Navy,
Right.
but now that they didn't
But
want you to have-
no. You couldn't have it because when I was in my first command, I remember when they first came out and said, Navy, all beards have to go. And I remember all the first guys, I'm getting out, blah, 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 blah. That next day,
Right.
because of the gas mask,
Right,
the
right,
seal.
right.
So
Yeah.
back in the 80s, they
Still
made
claiming that
everyone
now.
say, and then you had to get no shave chits if you had issues. So I had issues. I said, you know what? I'm not going to make a wave. Not going to make a wave. I got through instructor training, okay? Got #1 in instructor training, got #1 at RDC school.
And so
I
what
said-
year is this? Because you
Right.
came in
This
at
is like
82.
Navy,
so
right. This is 95 maybe?
Okay.
No, maybe 93.
Okay, so about 11 years later.
Yeah. So now here it is. I'm there, and he's telling me to shave my beard. So I said, I'm not gonna make any waves. I'm gonna shave. So here it is. I'm doing my thing, moving up. They pair me, like I say, guardian angels. My first partner, because I was an RDC first in the class. They paired me with a CEC Gilbertson, CB. Crazy guy. CB was crazy.
Yeah.
So here it is. They pair us. They put me in ship 14, okay, at the end of the base, where I had another strange experience at when I was in boot camp. Because I thought I saw a UFO on security watch at the end of that building. At the end, and now they put me in this building where I gotta look over the spot where I thought me and this other dude saw a UFO.
You saying you and someone else?
Right. No, me and my man Watson.
I got you.
We
said
verified.
you by yourself.
No, we
But you saying
verified.
you and somebody else.
Right. Me and the other watch, we looked, we said, did you just see that fireball at the end of the drill hall? Right? And I'm like,
Fireball.
yo. And then we
Y'all
heard
needed some rest.
Right. Then we heard some footsteps and we ran and we never went back to that end of the
Yeah, y'all
compartment.
needed some rest.
That sounds good, but I
What
know what I
happened to
saw,
the
dog.
what happened to the fireball?
It just stopped. It went behind the train. It was like train tracks. We saw it coming down, and then it just boom.
A UFO in boot camp.
I just saw it was fireball. That's almost.
So 11 years later, you back there.
And I'm back there looking at that
You was
spot.
looking for it.
And no, I'm in the building to have to look at that area where I had this traumatizing experience at. Okay? I know y'all brothers think.
I get it.
I got it.
But we get this. But we get this, right?
I
So
get
here
it,
it is.
yeah.
So they put me and Gilbertson in this ship, right? Because we're #1. And it's successful. I mean, Archer's ship, we end up winning all the double battles, all of you name it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm getting all of the awards. And they started bringing co-ed divisions in.
So how long? Because it's funny how paths cross because when you was in Diego Garcia, he was there, right? So you was in Great Lakes from when? 93 to when?
To 93 to 95.
Okay, so I came in
I
95.
I got there in 97. I went back in 97.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I came
here
in
it
in
is. So
95.
you was probably there when April was there, because April came in after me.
Yeah,
Right.
I was in 97, 99.
Right,
Yeah,
because
you're
April
right.
came in after me. Because when I got there, I already established a lot of stuff. So here it is. Me and Chief Giberson, we do some great stuff. But then here come, he was a life experience because he taught me a lot. So then they paired me up with a Chief Eric Williams, who is now a retired captain, LDO captain. He's the America's chain. And that's where the ruler comes in, because Eric has one of these. Because we used to measure everything of success by these. So Eric know that. You see it right there. AMS-1, ship 14.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
AMS-1, ship 14.
Yeah.
I should run my divisions. Be like, what? We're half inch off. Oh, drop. We half inch off. Drop. Give me 20. Okay? So Eric Williams was the first person, and you know what?
said drop, but there was a half an inch off.
Hey,
This boot
you
camp.
know what? I can
it
see,
matter.
but getting
I
close,
get
so
it.
I would love to get the whole story and thing. But I'm going to tell you, Eric, I just made first. So he said, yo, man, are you up for first? Up for chief? And I said, I just made first. I don't know. He said, well, what do you guys? He said, hey, bring in all your awards, all your certificates, everything. Bring them all in. So I brought everything in, and he put them all in a binder for me. And he said, dude, now he was the Sailor of the Year on a small boy.
Okay.
Eric was smooth brother, man. So here it is. He's like, dude, you got more stuff than me. If you don't make chief, I don't know. You got more, because I used to take all them little courses. Remember you take the courses?
Yeah.
If it was like one section, like 60 questions, DP.
Right. I used to do everybody.
Counseling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whatever to
I
build
remember
up for the
doing
eval.
YN1 and
YN1, right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
If it was just like three sections to do,
Well, yeah, I know what you
I
mean.
would
Knock
knock
them
them all
out
out real quick.
Correspondence book, the
Because the
correspondence
way I
book.
always
Yeah.
saw it was for my
With the bubble in the
evaluations.
joint with the A, B, C, and D.
You know, the way I saw it was that's the stuff to build up my evaluations. So I remember, here it is, I'm semi-O for the base. I'm complaining about my evaluation because I got 4.0 on EO. I'm like, I'm the semi-O.
Right.
The semi-O's getting 4.0.
First class at that.
Right?
Yeah.
So here it is, brother, probably East Coast known, IT senior chief, Chief Tucker. He's probably from the Norfolk area. He said, come here, McClure. He said, so would you prefer 4.0 in leadership? I just shut up then. He said, what do you want? 4 on leadership or 4 on equal opportunity?
Yeah.
Not
It
sure.
don't make a difference if I put this X at.
Right. But you want the 5.0 in leadership.
Yeah.
You want that in
As soon
leadership
as soon
for
as he
sure.
asked you, I caught it.
Right.
Soon as you said that.
Right. And I said, okay. See,
You caught
so
it
he was
too.
kind of like shut up and deal with it and live with it, right? So I mean,
When they read that, they rather see, you're a fight.
Great Lakes was a great thing.
Yeah.
My partner Eric, he used to let me take Microsoft Access courses down in Chicago, back when Microsoft first started off in Access. So I would take Saturdays, go down to Chicago, take this course to become an Access professional, okay, and get qualified in it. So subsequently, I end up writing the program. You know, like how the divisions get all the flags? I wrote a database program to keep all the division scores all calculated. So I did that for Great Lakes.
So when you made chief, where were you stationed at?
I was Sailor of the Year Diego Garcia, and I transferred to 195.
So
And made chief in 195
Okay.
before I checked in.
so left Great Lakes and back to
No, right. They sent me back to Diego Garcia.
Right.
I'm supposed to
making
get
sure.
each one of them orders. I'm supposed to get wherever I wanted to go. But instead, here it is. I make first, right, in the Great Lakes. They needed a chief in Diego Garcia, and this is what the detailer said: "You'll make chief, but you're going to go there as a first and run the division." I ran the division as an E5 already, and you sending me back there.
familiar ground.
So with that, I said, I want this. I want hazmat school.
Okay.
NDI, I took
wow.
everything. I
Yeah.
took every NEC.
That's big in the airframe.
He said,
with
you're going to
that
send
NDI.
me, right, you're going to send me
Yeah.
back there? I want it all. Hazmat, everything.
Right.
Safety center, I did
Right.
all that stuff here.
And so he's really setting you up.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the schools and everything.
With all the schools,
yeah.
Right. So you making chief. What was that like compared to when you was a force?
Right.
How it changed. It shifted from when you made it
right
to you being a force. It shifted.
Okay. Well,
process.
Like I said, I had mentors that I've seen, like Chief Giberson in Great Lakes, Chief Williams. They showed me how a chief is supposed to act and what a chief is supposed to do. Okay. So here it is. I make Sale of the Year in Diego Garcia, and I take orders to VFA 195, and boom, I make chief. So here it is. I make chief, and I'm like, wow. Because I'm shocked because I never thought about that. I just wanted to make E6 and buy that Chevron one time without having to cut the Chevron off. That's all I wanted to do. So I never thought about making chief. So now here it is.
So
it's
this
thrust
whole
upon
time,
me. And
you just
I've never
enjoying
even thought
being
about
the leader.
Being a leader, just mentoring people because that's my thing. I'm a mentor, process improvement type guy.
Yeah.
And every story I talked about, I try to make things better. And I try to make people better.
Right.
So with that, I make chief. I run into the line division, and bam, now I'm the new chief in the line. I remember going up to Senior Chief Reyes, and the Senior Chief said, "Hey, what you gonna do?" And I said, "Well, I'm gonna get turn called in the F-18." So he said, "So you're gonna be in the jet, turning in the jet, right, for maintenance." He said, "How many of your troubleshooters are turn called?" I don't know, because I'm still thinking like a first class. I'm thinking about it's about me,
right,
and it's not about my people. So from then, the turn call thing just ended, right? And I said I made sure all of my people were turn call, all of my troubleshooters. Right. They put me in a line shack with 65 airmen. No one's transitioning out of the line shack. No one's getting qualified. I got the boot camp mentality. PQS board, 10% a week. If it ain't done on Friday, you're painting a red line. I got marching party going around the hangar bay. They thought I was crazy. But I got my percentage. When I gave up the line shack and they put me in maintenance control, I had 45 qualified plane captains.
Oh, wow.
They put two chiefs in the line, one on days and one on nights, to try to figure out what I did while doing the one thing that I needed to do, get my surface warfare qualification. And I got that before I rolled into maintenance control.
That's good.
Right.
Even though you thinking because you were in a squadron at that time and you had to go to a ship or whatever to get the
Kitty Hawk. So we were Kitty Hawk.
So you out there doing that at the same time. So that's good. Because back then you probably, did you really need it? Or you just said, hey, this is important for me?
Right.
Okay.
I was like, no, it's more important for my people to get it. So here it is. I'm there. My line LPO. I remember the division chiefs told me I couldn't have a desk. I couldn't have a desk in the division officers. I said, it says line division. So over the weekend, I put petty officer price.
Yeah.
I put my desk in there and moved everything around. And at the time, I was a PFA coordinator and semio.
Oh, okay.
I got lockers. I got 65 airmen out here. There's no room for them. And I don't need two desks. So I moved it in there. Of course, all the old dog chiefs was like, yo, at the time, it was Master Chief Cassidy. Command Master Chief Cassidy. Hey, Joe. Joe's in Japan right now. Joe, man, it was crazy because they ran into Joe, right? And Joe said, y'all better leave Gary alone. Gary ain't what used to be called a slug. He ain't no young chief no more. He's a chief. Gary jack you up.
Right.
Y'all better leave Gary alone. Just leave him alone. Let him do his thing. He got a desk in there. He's a division chief. So Joe supported me. Supported the young, arrogant, little young chief.
This is what, like 96, 97?
This is 96, right. 96, 97. So here it is. It worked out well. So bam. Then what happens in this time frame? We got war coming up, right? We got the Afghan war. So now I end up making senior chief. So make senior chief. And everything was first time up after that. Chief, senior chief, master chief, all first time up. So Afghan war pulls in, right? I'm watching the towers get hit. Kitty Hawk pulls out. We pull back in. They say we're going to have a secret mission. We're going to take the ship over to the Gulf and give the ship to the Army. Gary, you're going to be on the deck. We got 4 F-18s on board. Okay? This transitions to me being a command master chief. Because at the time, we got 4 F-18s on board to get the ship to the war, and then we was going to mothball them in the hangar bay and let the Army have the whole flight deck.
Yeah.
But at the time, Captain White, who was the DCAG, says, hey, these pilots out here are tired. We got assets out here. We got the junior pilots. These junior pilots going to start dropping some bombs on one. They're going to start flying.
Yeah.
We didn't have the hoist, everything. He said, but we can load a bunch of stuff manually. Yeah. So DCAG, he squirted out, got the chiefs, put it all up. So, I mean, we end up doing the mission. It's great. My maintenance master chief flew out there at the end of it and was like, Gary, you guys said y'all needed this, and we're asking why. You all did this much? Y'all dropped this many bombs? Yeah. Y'all thought we was in the hangar bay. We were dropping bombs, Master Chief.
Yeah.
So subsequently, Master Chief's with me, Master Chief Thompson. We going through a initiation day, and Master Chief Thompson told me I was a WOG. And I said, well, I'm a WOG? What do you mean? He says, you're a WOG because I was in your squadron when you was an AR. I go back home, I look in my book, and there it is, a rate that doesn't exist. AXC Steve Thompson was a chief when I was an AR. And now I'm a senior chief in his maintenance department. Wow. I never called that man Steve. Always called him Master Chief. That man's been a Master Chief my entire career.
Wow.
He's been in khaki uniform. So I used to resent when new chiefs would make it and they start calling him Steve, like y'all buddies.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know what this man has been through.
Because
he gave me some of the best advice ever.
Wow.
Ever. When I told a pilot to get the F out of maintenance control.
Yeah.
He said, I got you. He said, you said everything right. You did everything, but why don't you wait till you get that other star before you get some more pilots out?
Yeah.
So now, that's my time right there. So here it is. I take orders to go to HSL 51 because back then, in order to move up, they said different platforms. That was one of the pearls. I said, man, smaller helicopter. I worked on several helicopters. It should be easy. 4 senior chiefs in the command, 2 shore, 2 sea. What's the worst I can get? Must promote.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What do you think I made Master Chief with? Must promote. First time up. Only one in the squadron to make it.
Wow.
Must promote. But I had everything else. Man.
Yeah, everything else from the previous commands.
From previous command. I had the resume.
Yeah.
So now here it is. The command was kind of shaky. The CO didn't like me because I made him look bad. I made him look bad during our first deployment.
Yeah.
My helicopter detachment, Det 3, shoot out to Det 3. Det 3 was the only Det, every single Det LPO in that squadron after me made Master Chief. They put us back on the Kitty Hawk. They took me off the O'Brien, a small boy, put me back on the Kitty Hawk. During that time frame, my detachment was the only helicopters up the entire deployment. And the admiral said, I want to see CO, XO, ops officer, and maintenance officer here. And explain why all the other helicopters were down and the only 2 that was up was mine. And you think I would be rewarded? Oh no, that man hated me. So here it is, subsequently, I make Master Chief. He comes into maintenance control and says, hey, I want to congratulate, we had a Master Chief made in command. Congratulations, Master Chief McClure. Remember, you're not getting paid yet.
Oh, wow.
Did he just threaten me? So subsequently, on the other side, 2 other individuals made Master Chief. They getting frocked. 2 weeks later, I'm not frocked.
What?
I'm not frocked. Now, everyone is thinking now they're starting to think it's racial because the 2 other cats on the other side are white and the brother's still senior chief.
Yeah.
We were going through a wing inspection for our helicopters, right? So here it is, the senior chief, or the Master Chief that was there, he was like, why ain't you frock yet? And I told him the story, right? So he told the Commodore, and the Commodore talked to the captain, he said, you will frock him today, or you will be in San Diego. Because do you think that if he fails his inspection, you can't stop him from being a Master Chief? But we got to see how his inspection goes. His inspection don't matter. I'm still going to be a Master Chief regardless. Yeah. And then subsequently, they end up asking me to be the maintenance Master Chief of the squadron. I was like, I'm going CMC, dog. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So boom, so I go CMC. I'm CMC of a VFA 27, which is a great story again because that CO, initially, we did not get along, but he was passing it off to Commander Dwyer. Commander Dwyer, I get in that job. Commander Dwyer says, hey, I need you to be the sheriff, right? And I said, but that's not the job. It's CMC, I need you to be the sheriff. Okay, I'm going to be the sheriff. So I got my picture, stern picture up. It's the sheriff, and I'm doing stuff. So then he leaves. Commander Huffman takes over and he says, XO gonna be the sheriff. You ain't got to move. Next day, change the picture, CNC smiling.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
smiling now, right?
Yeah.
So boom. So subsequently, I moved from there for 27, and now I'm looking at my next job, and
What was the most, go back real quick, your first CMC tour, what was the most, like, if you can recall, the most enjoyable moment you had doing that job?
watching my Chiefs make senior chief.
Oh, wow.
Watching my Chiefs make senior chief. And at the time that I came in, which is funny, I come in and Andy is the Sailor of the Year.
Sailor of the Year.
Right. But I come in as a CMC.
Wow.
That's how I met Andy.
Yeah.
Because he's the Sailor of the Year for the command, but he's
JG.
rolling out when I'm rolling in.
Okay.
You know, but I
Okay.
heard some great things about this cat,
Right,
you
right,
know?
Right,
Okay.
Right.
So here it is, bam. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm just shocked. So Captain White, okay, Captain White is now the CAG.
Okay.
So now it's time for him to pick a CAG CMC.
Oh,
So boom.
I got you.
So he's like, that's my man.
That's my man.
Now he picks me while
Yeah.
I'm at a selection board when the George Washington catches fire. So he tells me, don't come back to
his CAG
Japan.
5 belonged to
Right.
GW. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, go to San Diego and check on our spaces. Now I'm leaving over a lot of people, a lot of Jameses, James Abeta, James Deloja, both Pac Fleet Force Master Chiefs. Keith Gooseby, the first dude I saw as a force, I was like, man, that dude got power, man. Chief Gooseby got power and respect. He demand respect when he just walked in because of the way his uniform looked
What?
and the way he spoke. Demand respect, Keith Gooseby.
Yeah.
James Deloja, you know. James Abeta, when I saw him, those Pac Fleet Force Master Chiefs were powerful.
Yeah. Ray Kemp talked about the Gooseby guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So here it is.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm chilling and I'm like, okay. Boom. He picks me as a CAG. And now, once again, I want to make things happen. So now I'm training. I'm going to all the selection boards because I want to get us advanced and I got to represent the FD&F.
Right.
So I'm training the officers, I'm training the airmen on how to write evaluations. I'm slicing up my chiefs' evaluations. Like, and they'll all tell you, they're like, yeah, I remember when you did that to me. And all of them cats are Master Chiefs now. All them cats are retired Master Chiefs now.
Yeah.
They all, you know. You know my boy JP, Pope.
Oh, yeah.
Pope met Diego Garcia, played basketball for me, and Diego Garcia. That's how I met JP.
Yeah.
Playing basketball.
Yeah.
When I got here, JP said, what should I do, Mac? Go to Japan. You go to Japan, you'll
That's
make
when he
Master
went.
Chief.
That's when he made Master
He took
Chief.
my advice and he made it.
Yeah.
He rolled.
Yeah.
My boy Curry, Thomas Curry, AO. Superstar, man. He over in Dubai somewhere making tons of money right now doing his thing. But those are all the guys that taught me a lot of stuff.
That's what's
Cornelius Pope, Chris Justice, them CMCs, they all taught me. They all taught me a little bit. They all taught me stuff, man.
That's dope, man.
They all taught me a little bit.
Yeah.
But the master, the ring master,
Yeah.
Chris Penton, little brother.
What's special about him?
We used to come to Millington, and Chris would get us all together, and he would say, "You got the future. You got the." He would have like a meeting and say, like, "You need to do this. You need to move up this way." Chris was one of them cats who was in for running for McPod. Chris was one of them ones. That's how powerful it was. There's a documentary on the Nimitz. Chris is the CMC during that documentary about the Nimitz. Powerful.
So that's two things I got to go back and watch.
Right?
I got
But
to
I'm
go
gonna tell
back
you.
and watch Jurassic
So here
Park
it
and
is.
this.
So now it is. Here it is. I'm CMC of the Air Wing. I'm doing my thing in the Air Wing. I got powerhouse CMCs. Benny Simmons. You know, Kevin Brown, Keith, Ken Shivers. You know, I had Pete Burton.
Right.
I got superstars. Cheryl Cloud. I got superstar CMCs in the Air Wing. Superstar. Randy Pringle. You know, just superstars. So now it is, I'm sitting the board, he selects me, I'm doing the CAG thing, we get on the GW, and here comes my Clarks. Because on the Kitty Hawk, I had a brother, Chuck Clark, who ends up being the Fleet Master Chief here. Me and Chuck go all the way back to senior chiefs talking about leadership. Me and Chuck Clark. But I also had Jeff Clark, okay? who ends up being the CMC on board the GW when I'm the air wing on board.
Oh, wow.
Jeff Clark initiated me as a chief. And now we the 2 Master Chiefs on board the GW.
That's what's up.
And I never felt shame to say that, yeah, he initiated me as a chief.
Yeah.
Because I learned from that cat how to get up there. Cat's like, why do you say that? You make yourself look beneath him. No, I don't make myself look beneath him. He pulled me up. He pulled me up. I'm giving him a respect. Jeff Clark is doing big things right now. I can't say where he's at, but he's doing big things up in D.C. right now.
Yeah.
Chuck still doing good things. Chuck Clark still a superstar in this area. Brothers, the cats that I met here, James Williams, Force Master Chief, Surf, smooth as ice. Smooth as ice.
You talking about Butter?
Butter.
You talking about
James
Butter?
Williams took care of me.
Butter,
the dude that I took over for, I knew but didn't know in Great Lakes, Fred Farr.
Yeah.
Superstar, legend Fred Farr. And now here it is, I'm taking over for him. And how did I get into the job? Here it is. Mick Pond West said we got to put in. I called Fred. Yo, Fred, Mick Pond says I need to call you to put in for the job. Fred says, yo, you know you're a Westpac guy. Fred say no more. I'm good. But if Rick calls you, say I called. So now I get a call. We pulling into Manila from James Deloja, the Force Master Chief on my side, West. He says, yo, Mick Pond says call G Money and see if G Money will put in for the job. Okay. So they set up a VTC with me and Admiral O'Haley, Rich O'Haley. Okay. Boom. We do a VTC in Manila. I'm sitting there, answer all the questions. Bam, 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 knocking them out. Comes down to the last question. And he says, hey, what's your wife going to think about this? I said, oh, he don't know that I'm single. Because all I did was send in a bio, my picture, and my bio. My bio says that I'm aviation. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about my bio. Right? So he said, what you going to say? I said, well, Admiral, I'm single. I go wherever you want me to go. I can move and shade. Hour later, he calls Ross Myers, the CAG, Monkey, and Monkey says, I don't want to let you go, but it'd be good for you to let you go. So I'm going to let you go. So that's how I ended up getting a force job.
Wow.
So then I come here and I mean, and it's a whole different relationship when you're dealing with admirals. And you're dealing with captains.
You're not dealing with the junior sailors like that.
You're not. You're so far removed, but I always want to stay grounded. So one of the things that I did as a force, because I never left the office before the admiral left the office.
Okay.
So late night, I'd go by a hangar, walk in the hangar, because you know why? Night check never gets to see the Force Master Chief.
I got you.
Day check.
Yeah,
right?
day check only.
Only, right?
Yeah.
Because that's when they travel.
That's when they travel.
So I would always go by the hangars in the morning. The cars would be like, yo, why did you go over that hangar? The CO was all, why was the force in our hangar bay? I'm not in there to spy on y'all. I'm in there just to meet sailors. You know, I come into a hangar bay one time, man, and they got a stuck boat. You know, I go in there, I say, yo, I got a stuck boat? Okay, watch this. And we been trying to get this boat for you. It's an old school maintenance, dog. Y'all don't know nothing about this. How to use leverage to get this boat.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I used to love doing that. Just going by seeing those sailors at nighttime.
What's up, man?
You know?
Not even just said to help with them out.
just
But
helping
they
them,
like, man, two stones up in here,
And
man.
then for one of the things for maintenance, I was respected going into maintenance control because I could go into maintenance control
Because
and
you know it. You know.
I know.
You know.
So one of the things that me and Rick West, we always had a problem with this. I said, you know what? Why can't I be BUMED, Force Master Chief? You know why? Even though I've been in medical, and I think, but you know what gives credibility to that job? The fact that it's an HM. And I understand that not a lot of CMCs, a lot of AMs and aviation people go CMC.
Yeah.
But however, you want respect. Respect comes from when that sailor reads my bio, that sailor says, that's me. When he reads it and it says HM such and such is your Force Master Chief, you're like, oh, he got his air warfare. Okay, great. That don't mean you know nothing about aviation. So we always battle with that.
Right.
But when I talk about, let me talk about key people who've always been there for me. Mick Pond, Terry Scott. Always, from the time that he initiated me as a chief. Always in my corner. Tom Howard, Fleet Howard. Always in the background. I'm never asking for nothing. He never tells me what he's doing, but I know that he's always spreading my name in a good light.
So I'm gonna just say this right before we continue, right? Because you got so much, and
there's some stuff that you spoke on.
It's just like we gonna slow it back down because we trying to speed through because we got to come back to discuss all this. For 13 years, you've been retired. But 2013 you retired, and you still giving back in a whole different arena, a whole different side of the house. And we're gonna bring you back to discuss all that because it's just like because we trying to speed through everything, but it's just like what I want the listeners and the viewers to understand is just like we have. Again, half of us before we put on ankles or whatever, you was on your way out, So you are our legend. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people might not know your name, but this is the person who brought inspiration and motivation to those who we look up to right now, and that's why it's important for us to have you here and for people to know your story. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I will tell you, because like for me, I mean, one of the biggest things that I really love, because I love mentoring people, and I'll sit there and I love this badge of honor to say that I'm probably one of the only ones that got 3 Fleet Master Chiefs that I ever dealt with.
Wow.
Okay? I remember when Sue Whitman, when she called me, and I said, okay, I got a ship for you. Boom. Put her on a ship, Fleet Master Chief. Right? Sue was safety center. I said, Sue, why don't you take the job at the safety center? She said, why do you think that's a good job? I said, I ain't got a carrier for you right now, but take the safety center. Safety center speaks at the MCPON conferences. She goes to safety center, Fleet Master Chief. Guess who's next? I meet Paul Kingsbury in Guam when I'm air wing. Paul Kingsbury, he calls me. Paul, Sue leaving the safety center. Take the safety center. Fleet Master Chief. James Williams, I need some candidates. Dwayne Huff. Dwayne Huff, the Afro. He gives me some superstar names. Ray Kim. And I interviewed him. Okay? And I let them interview with the captain. And the captain picked Ray. He goes on. Ray's finished. What job? Yo, dude, hey, I'll get the Admiral to throw some names out there. Get you over to your first Admiral job. Mark Bathurst. Same thing. He moved on, Spectre IG, doing great things, living his life. But those are 3 Fleet Master Chiefs. Each one grow one. And it was my time. MCPON Stevens, great guy, worked well with him when he was at Fleet Forces. But in a way, you kind of get a MCPON job and then you kind of change a little bit, and he wanted me to change what I was doing. I wasn't willing to do that. No. I said, I'm not letting someone else pick my carrier. No, I have an interview. I pick 3 candidates, and the CO could pick any one of those candidates, and there'll be a superstar for them.
Right. Don't make it difference.
But the Fleet Master Chiefs picking who, that seems like the network again, the good old boy network. We picking who we want. Instead of me, they work for me. I'm going to pick them. That didn't work out. I said, I'm good, man. Gary good. Because Gary never expected to be here.
Wow.
Gary just wanted the Chevron. You know what I'm saying?
He got so much more.
They got so much more. So much experience. I mean, my last Admiral, Admiral Branch, it was rocky because Admiral Branch was the CO of the Nimitz when Chris Penton was a C. So his last vision of a CMC was Chris Penton at 5'4". Then he gets me.
Wow. So how was your transition from when you retired to now being called veteran?
Okay, I will tell you, when I first got out, my vision, because I always had in my office, Maserati, $200,000 a year, master's degree. Always had that. And I said, that's what I want to do. I want to wear a different suit every day. I got a 5-bedroom house. Every closet got suits in it. But then when I walked through those bullets, I said, I don't want that stress. I said, Gary, my money's right. I invest right. VA paid me to go to stock training. I invest well. I'm a good, decent crap shooter. I'm good.
Right.
Gary
Living
travel.
your life.
Gary cruise.
Living your life.
Gary cruise. That's what I do. Cruise, and on every cruise, I make money on the crap table. And I enjoy this life because you know what? There's 16 Command Master Chiefs that I worked with who ain't here no who retired after me.
Wow.
One of my friends that I found out, 2 Master Chiefs from Roxbury, from the hood, Ed Dillard, I met. I knew his brother.
Yeah.
He passed away. I was supposed to go to a LL Cool J concert. Instead, I did something else, and that was probably my last chance to see him and be with him, because I find out that he's in a coma, and they're about to pull the plug on him on Facebook. But I hit a senior chief up, and he said, yo, you don't know about Ed? Ed been in a coma for a year. What? After 30 years. So I encourage people, live your life. You got to ask yourself, how much is too much? When friends tell me, yo, man, when I get to 65, you might not make it to 65. I might not make it leaving this studio. But I can at least say this, I enjoy my retirement. And I enjoy my life. And I tell people, I enjoy this side of my service.
There you go.
And I try to give back everywhere I can. But I want to thank you all for what you all do, because this is powerful. So when I decided to put that patch and go up to the White House and represent, I was representing the mess, and I was representing your vision.
I appreciate it.
Really, man. I know. That was
so
deep,
much.
man. I'm telling you, man. I felt so deep, man, and honored. Just to, so, when Famous was like, yo, Gary.
Man, trust me, when I seen it, I was like.
And all you see is that patch. You don't even see Gary no more.
Right,
You just see.
yeah, but I'm like, that's my man. He always representing, though.
Yeah.
He always representing, man.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Go to the ruler.
But you coming back, we got to put you back, because there's so much stuff that we didn't get a chance to get to or anything like that. But as always, definitely enjoyed the conversation, the stories, UFO.